is so blessed. Welcome to the blessed place. How y'all doing? Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Jesus is my doctor and he writes out all of my prescription and he gives me all of my medicine in my room. Come on, y'all. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Jesus is my doctor and he writes out all of my prescription and he gives me all of my medicine in my room. Okay, you guys, how y'all doing? Welcome to the blessed place and welcome to my Monday night live, my Monday night musings, where we talk about all things relationship, dating, marriage advice, dating advice, self-esteem issues, confidence, all that good stuff. Come on, I see y'all coming on in the room. Danica is up this late. Come on in the room, girl. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me, Danica. Know it's a little late for you, but I appreciate it. Can y'all hear me good? Oh, you stayed away long enough just to watch. Okay, hope you'll be able to hang in there. We're usually on about an hour, but if not, I will have the replay on. So, okay, you guys, well, I am going to get right into it. You half up. Okay, I'm going to get right into it, and those of you who coming in later, you can watch the replay. I'm going to get right to our topic because I got quite a bit to discuss. So first of all, before we get into these 10 big relationship mistakes, Will and Jada. Okay, we just gonna leave it there. Talking about relationship mistakes. We just gonna leave that there. But yeah. I'm gonna give you my opinion. My opinion is that Will should not have done what he did. I don't care what his excuse is. I don't care how he was feeling, but he should not have done what he did. So just go leave that there. So let's get to these 10 biggest relationship mistakes to avoid. And y'all see me looking down. I got all of it written down on my phone. Hi AJ, glad you made it. I'm glad you got to watch the replay for last week. But I missed you in the live. Ooh, we had some good conversation. We had the men in here. We had Aaron, who's glad I left, in here, just dropping some nuggets. We had we had Tommy in here and dropping some nuggets. We had Sean, who's it's scary to remarry. He was in here dropping some nuggets. So I appreciate everybody who were here last week. I appreciate everybody who watched the replay. I appreciate everybody who's here this week. So okay, y'all, let's get into these relationship mistakes that we should avoid. And as I was coming up with some of these, I thought of, a lot of my own relationship mistakes. And I'll share with you all as it pertains to the topic on some of my relationship mistakes. Number one of our biggest relationship mistake is expecting your mate to make you happy. I know y'all have heard me say this a lot, but you've got to be happy with yourself and have joy within yourself because there's too much to put on someone else to make you happy. Hi, Lois. Girl, please talk about how Will allowed another man with his wife as a mistake. Yeah, that was the beginning of the mistake. Lois said, please talk about how Will allowing his wife with another man was a mistake. I don't have that down as one, but that's one of the biggest mistakes, inviting other people in your marriage. But we'll talk about that at the end. So remind me, Lois, we'll talk about that at the end, but that was the beginning. Tonight wouldn't have happened, or last night at our school wouldn't have happened if they weren't inviting folks in their marriage. So, hey, we'll put that at the end for bonus. But expecting your mate to make you happy. I'm telling you guys, I know sometimes in our single hood, we think, if only I had a man, if only I had a husband. Yes, husbands, they should they should enhance. Wives, they should enhance our lives. When you get married, when you get in a relationship, that person should come in and enhance your life. If they're taken away from your life, then that's not a healthy relationship. But that person should come and add to your life. And if that person is adding to your life, that's a blessing. But don't expect somebody to come in and make you happy. You got to find your own joy. You got to find your own happiness. And anything else is a bonus. And I've talked about that a lot, so many times. Yes, AJ says amen. 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 That was the biggest mistake, allowing anybody in your marriage. But like I said, we'll talk about that. Number two, not knowing your mate's love language. That's one of the biggest mistakes we can make in our marriage or in our relationship, is not knowing your mate's love language. Now, we know everybody's heard of the five love languages, and I'm sure that there are many more, but they compiled these love languages into five. Gary Chapman did in a very popular book, The Five Love Languages. And in that book, he talks about the five love languages being acts of service, quality time, touch or affection, words of affirmation, and receiving gifts. And those are the five like primary um, love languages. And I'm sure there are many more, but we know of those five being compiled like in a book. And you've got to know your mate's love language. Through communication, asking, what makes you feel most loved? I've asked my husband that, even though I watch and I pay attention, but I've asked him, what makes you feel loved? They might not, really know love languages. You might not know all the five love languages and all the other ones, but you do know what makes you feel loved. What makes you feel most loved? I know what makes me feel most loved, and for me, it's acts of services. It's like when my husband do things for me, and even if it's not an intimate relationship, when my sisters or my family or my daughter or do things for me, those acts of services is what speaks my love language. That's what tells me that I'm loved. So you have to know what makes what language, love language, is does your husband or your spouse speak, and how can you speak their language? So if quality time, then you've got to take time out with your mate. If touch, I know that's one of my husband's biggest love language is touch, and I am not a toucher. It's probably the last on my list, and I was not a toucher because I like to hug, and I like to touch, but I'm just not overly affectionate. I'm not overly affectionate, but I have to be cognizant of that this is what my husband loves, and I remind myself to be more intentional. So sometimes these love languages are not your language, and sometimes they're a little bit more difficult to bring out of yourself. But you have to know what your mate's love language is, and what speaks love to them, and then you have to be intentional with it. So if receiving gifts is your mate's love language, then you have to be intentional with gifts, and that's thoughtful gifts, not just no any old thing. They have to be thoughtful gifts, and that comes from paying attention to what did your spouse say they want, paying attention to what did your spouse like, paying attention to what did your spouse look up online, paying attention to what did your spouse like to purchase. Do they like handbags? Do they like shoes? Do they like clothes? Do they like cologne? Do they like experiences? Some people don't like all that stuff. Some people are minimalists and don't like all that stuff, but maybe they like experiences. So it's paying close attention to your mate and learning their language. It's just like I've been trying to learn Spanish forever. Ever since I was in sixth grade, I've been trying to learn Spanish. I have not even mastered it. I'm not even close. But just like I wanted to learn Spanish, and I've been studying Spanish all over. Hey, hi Aaron, welcome. Glad you're here. But just like I wanted to learn Spanish and I had to, study that language, the same thing, you have to study your partner's language and their love language and what speaks love to them. If you have a partner that touch and affection is their primary, and you have primary and a secondary, and maybe even a third, or maybe they're in a hierarchy. So you might like all of these things, but they're going to be more so a primary and a secondary, and maybe even a third of love language. And if your partner loves touch and affection, and you're maybe not naturally an affectionate person, you're going to have to be intentional. You have to be intentional with that. Receiving gifts, you have to be intentional, not to just buy no old anything, but be intentional about what it is that your spouse or your mate, your partner, who you're dating, what do they like? So you need to know your mate's love language. That's number two. Everybody who's just coming into the room, we're talking about 10 biggest relationship mistakes to avoid. And so you want one mistake is not knowing your mate's love language. What speaks love to them? And number three is not knowing your own love language. What is your love language? It's not all about what language do they speak and what speaks love to them, but what speaks love to you. How do you want to be loved? Because you could be trying to provide all the love that you can give, but then if you're not happy because you're not receiving the love that you want and you're not being the love the way you want to be loved, then that's no good either. It's not just a one-way street. A relationship, this is a two-way street. Give and take. And so not knowing, a lot of times we don't even know what our love language is. We don't even know what speaks love to us. What lets you know that you are loved by a person? Receiving gifts, does that make you know that you're loved? Being affectionate, that lets you know that you're loved by a person. It's funny, I'm not, that affection is like down at the bottom of my love language list. But y'all let my husband not touch me. For, just we're riding in the car the other night, Friday night, our date night was, we rode over to Daytona Beach to go get some food. And so those who don't know, Daytona Beach is probably about a 30-minute ride from where we live. And so we went over there just to get some wings from this place, Bethune Grill. And you let us ride all the way over there 30 minutes and my husband doesn't reach over and touch me. I'm thinking, what's wrong with him? He done lost the love? What's on his mind? So I'm not an affectionate person, but I know how he shows love. And that's part of how he shows love to me is by being affectionate. But he knows that my primary love language is acts of services. And so that's what he does. He gets my gas in my car. He goes and get my, when I got my oil change. He knows, he gets our yard taken care of. He knows that, I got all my Amazon boxes out there around the corner. And he knows those boxes have been sitting there 3 days and they're going to stay there until he decides to take them out for me. Because that's what speak love to me. That you get those Amazon boxes, those empty Amazon boxes that's sitting there in the dining room area. So you got to know what your love language is too, so that you can argue, and you don't just want them to have to guess. They might have a crystal. They don't have a crystal ball. So you have to be able to share with your mate what speaks love to you. Hi, Krista. Hello. How you doing? It's so funny. I love you still call me First Lady, even though my husband is not a pastor anymore. Actually, he just became assistant pastor. Just became assistant pastor of a church that we attend. But I just think that's so funny. You still call me First Lady. But thank you. Um, but yeah, so you have to know your love language. So we're talking about the biggest relationship mistakes to avoid: expecting your mate to make you happy, not knowing your mate's love language, and third, not knowing your own love language, and even if you do know it, not knowing how to articulate it to your partner. So it's important what we want too, ladies and gentlemen, whoever it is. It's important. It's not just about what they want. It's not just about what they want, but what makes you happy. Number four, one of the biggest relationship mistakes: taking your partner for granted and not prioritizing your relationship. Again, taking your partner for granted. And I know this is something that I have done over the years, and sometimes I still do. I'm just being honest and transparent here. And this is something that I still work on in my marriage. We will have been married 17 years. 17 years in April, I think. Yeah, 17 years in April. And I still struggle with that. I'm still working on that. Not taking my husband for granted, not taking my marriage for granted, because we have a good marriage, and he's so good to me, and he's so thoughtful, and he's so kind, and he's so generous, and he's so loving. Hi. Uh, um, and he's so, and I have to remember not to just take that for granted. I have to remember, to speak his love language, because, like I say, one of his love language is words of affirmation, and I'm more of a introvert. And like I said, and I often say it might not seem that way because I'm a social introvert. It's like I love people, I love social media, but I'm an introvert. And I have to remind myself that my husband's primary love language is words of affirmation. So he's a talker, he's an extrovert. And I have to remind myself that he likes to be verbally affirmed. Now, of course, he wouldn't say that. He wouldn't say he likes to be verbally affirmed, but I know him. I know his. You're an introvert, yeah. Are you introvert or are you an extrovert? Which one, Krista? Because you say I am too. Um, oh, okay, introvert. Yes, so I'm a social introvert. But anyways, yeah. So I have to remember to, because I am an introvert and I go inward and I can be quiet. That I have to remember my husband's love language is words of affirmation. So I have to remember to thank him, appreciate. I don't have to remember this because I tell him thank you for everything he does, and he always telling me I don't have to tell him thank you. So it's not like I have to remember to say thank you. I just have to remember to be more verbal with him, because that's what speaks love to him. When I talk to him and give him attention, and we communicate a lot and laugh and talk, that's what speaks love to him. And I have to remember that, because I can just go in. I can sit beside my husband. We can sit for 2, 3 hours, and I don't say nothing. Or I can be on my phone, or I can put on my headset and watch a movie. And I have to remember, you need to put your phone down and talk. Take off that headset and talk. So you have to know, what you have to know your spouse's or partner's love language, and then you got to not take your partner for granted. And I'll tell you where I would say I made one of the biggest mistakes of our marriage. And this is just, I don't know what my husband would say my biggest mistake was, but for me, what I feel like my biggest mistake was, this was probably, let me see, yeah, we were living in Georgia, so we moved to Georgia 2018. So I think happened in 2019. My husband's daughter, my husband had a daughter, and they were somewhat estranged. They would talk every now and then, but they weren't, the closest. But they would talk, and I know he loved her, she loved him, but she passed away. She had a heart condition, and she passed away. And her funeral was in Philadelphia. And um, I was thinking, let's divide and conquer. My husband went to the funeral, and I stayed in Florida and worked. Even though we're living in Georgia, but remind you, I still worked in Florida. So my thinking was, let me go to Florida and work because we need money, and you go to Pennsylvania to the funeral. So my husband took one of our cousins. It's his cousin, but took one of his adult cousins, and took our son, and our son's wife went. So they all went, but I should have been there. And my husband never said anything. He agreed with the arrangement. But I think in the aftermath of everything, I feel like my husband felt that I should have been there. And he's 100% right. I should have been there. And that's one of my greatest regrets, because there's no way my daughter, Derica, who is our daughter, he had a son and a daughter. I call them my kids, and Derica is his daughter. And we have a blended family. And there's no way Derica could have passed away and my husband not have been there for me. There's no way. No matter whether we were estranged, close, or whatever. And so I regret that. I regret that to this day. I can't undo what was done, but I can be more mindful of things like that moving forward. I can be more mindful to not take for granted our relationship or his love, or don't take for granted being there for each other. Don't put money matters over your mate. Ladies, I know some, especially ladies, a lot of times we get a little fearful when it comes to money because security is very important to us. And money is part of that security. So I feel like sometimes we get a little frantic sometimes over money. Like a man, I can remember telling my husband we needed $1,000 for some bills, and my husband said okay and went to sleep. And I remember wanting to put the pillow over his head and smother him because I'm up worried about the bills, and you said okay and went to sleep. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You said this is good, teaching me much. Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm glad to know that it's valuable. Hi, Miss A. Hi, Aaron. Yes, Aaron. I wanted to put the pillow over. I mean, women, don't we have these thoughts? Yes, we have these thoughts. And I wanted to put the pillow over his head because because he was over there snoring. He was like right beside me snoring. And I'm like, we need, because we had a church. I'm like, either we about to lose our church or our house or our car. We about to lose something. And you over here snoring and sleep. And so, so as women, sometimes we're more frantic about the bills and the money and all of that. But I will say, learn from my mistakes, ladies. Don't let money matter take precedent over your relationship and your marriage. Because I feel like I made a poor choice. I thought I made the best choice at that time, but I always regret. Yes, I'm about to smother the brother. Yes, because I'm like, how you over here snoring and we about to lose something, and you just said okay and went to sleep. But so let me just tell you, this is kind of off topic, but let me just tell you how God works. He said okay and went to sleep. So I'm up, frantic, worried, praying to the Lord, looking at him like I want to put that pillow over his head. And then the doorbell rings, and I go to the doorbell. I go to the door, and it's one of our church members who's also a friend, a good friend of Charles, but also a church member. And he said, First Lady, is Pastor home? And I said, yes, he's asleep, but you want me to wake him up? And I know our friend, he's the type who, he wouldn't want you to, don't bother Pastor. But if he thinks it's important, so he said, yes, wake him up for me, please. And I'm trying to speak his I think he's from Virgin Islands in his accent. Wake him up, please. And I said, okay, it's something important. So I go wake my husband up. They go out in the garage and talk. And then my husband says, baby, come here. Come here. I go in the garage, like, yeah, what? And, I'm already irritated because I wanted to smother the brother. So I'm like, yeah, what? He's like, tell her what you just told me. The Lord laid, and he tells me, the Lord laid it upon my heart to come and give you all $1,000. Y'all, I'm not lying. I'm telling you what God will do. Y'all, we're going to need to keep a tip jar for the First Lady to get bail money. Yeah. Yes, but I've grown now. I've grown now, Krista, to trust the Lord more. I've grown to trust the Lord more, but I wasn't trusting the Lord right then. I was like, you need to do something. And then I think, I forgot. This is also, too, what made me a little bit upset, because I was just like, you laying here going to sleep like we don't have, we don't need any money. And y'all know the nerve he had nerve to tell me, what you want me to do, go rob a bank? Okay, I'll go rob a bank. And so I just rolled my eyes, because it's like, okay, you got to go from one extreme, to the other. But anyways, the friend came over and he said that the Lord, he sounded like me. Oh, Aaron, Aaron, you got to give us reassurance. You can't be, it can't be. What you want me to do? Go rob a bank? But anyways, but I just said that to say that I was worried about money. And that story was just a little sidebar because just to explain that I was in a relationship, I'm always the one that's more so worried about the finances or the money. And Charles is like, it is what it is. We make what we make, and it is what it is, and God got us. But at that time, so that's what I was thinking when my husband's daughter died, and my husband um, went to the funeral, and I was thinking, okay, you go to the funeral, I'll go to Florida and work. Is what we did. I went to Florida and worked. He went to the funeral. But afterwards, I said, Deidre, you should have been there with your husband. So I just wanted to share that for the point of don't take your partner for granted. Uh, Another story. I like to use stories in my own personal experiences when something relates to what I'm telling you all. My husband is the type who he acts like receiving gifts. When we talking about love language, receiving gifts is kind of like at the bottom of his love language, or at least I thought so. So because he always, I don't esteem no one day over the other. I don't esteem birthday over any other. I don't esteem Christmas over another. I don't esteem, So he loves to purchase me gifts, but he always act like he doesn't care if he get any gifts. Like I think one Christmas, I don't know if it was Christmas, birthday, Valentine's, something. I bought him a garbage can, a big old garbage can. It is it is a daughter with the babies. You do not have to answer if it is. If it is personal. Oh, is it the daughter with the baby? Oh, no, 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 no. No, she didn't have any babies. No, she didn't have any babies. No. Um, no, we don't have it. As a matter of fact, no, we don't have my daughter. It's my daughter, no kids. His daughter who passed away, no kids, and our son have three babies. Our son have three babies, but we don't have any girls with babies. Just our son has three babies. Anyways, so I was let me see what am I talking about? Taking my partner for granted. Oh, so yeah, I always like I said, my husband always just act like gifts don't mean anything to him. Well, I think his last birthday. So yeah, last year his birthday, I made a special effort. I said I'm not just gonna take it for granted. He don't care about gifts and all that. I'm gonna do something special for him. So I got up. He went to work, and I got up early because he was at that time he was working like five something in the morning. So I got up early before I had to go to work, and I went and I put some like balloons in his truck, and I just stopped by the bank the night before, and I got like maybe like $300 cash because he likes cash, and I put $300 cash in a card, and I put some balloons in there, and I bought a nice little Hallmark card and stuff, and then I bought him something else that for him later, and I put it in the truck, and so when it was lunchtime or whatever, he saw it, and he really 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 loved it and appreciated it, and I was so surprised because I was like, okay, he had like he don't care about any of this stuff, but I was like, DJ, you're taking him for granted, and you're taking his love for granted. So anyway, I've talked about that long enough, but ladies, gentlemen, don't take your partner for granted. You need to prioritize your relationship. Okay. So Crystal, oh, the grands are your son's children. Okay, I remember when you you remember when we were babysitting? Yes, it's my son's kids. Yes. Yes, I'm gonna try it again. I think April or May, whenever my daughter lives in Atlanta, when she comes here in April, I'm gonna get the grandbabies. But I need her help, so I'm gonna wait till she come here so she can help me, cause I can't do it. I can't keep no babies by myself. So okay, number 5. One of the 10 biggest mistakes is bringing up past hurts and discretions because of unforgiveness. If we forgive, we should forgive, but if we forgive in a relationship, we gotta forgive all the way. We've got to. Yeah, Chris, I need help. We should forgive all the way. You can't bring up past discretions and throw stuff in your partner's face. That's a big mistake. Big mistake that you're throwing up, past indiscretions or past hurts, or uh, if you forgive. And I remember talking to someone. It was one of my blessed ones, and we were talking, and she consulted me about relationship and how she had been hurt and how she didn't feel like she forgave him, but she wasn't like she hadn't fully forgiven him. And I told her, I said, you have a choice. I said, you either forgive or not forgive. I said, but if you're gonna forgive, you cannot half forgive. You can't forgive and hold on to unforgiveness. You haven't truly forgiven if you're holding on to unforgiveness. You haven't truly forgiven if you're throwing up the past or the mistakes in someone's face. We make mistakes. We make mistakes. And if you choose to forgive somebody, if you choose to forgive and move on, that's your prerogative. But if you forgive and you stay and you plan to make the relationship um, if your desire is to have a positive relationship and you want to move forward in your relationship, then you have to forgive and move on and not um, bring up past hurts. I'm reading y'all. Bless you, my friend. Unfortunately, I'm not married now, but give these viewers your wisdom, as the word says. Thank you, Lenora. Yes, it is. Sometimes it is hard to know how to move forward. Yeah, sometimes it is hard to know how to move forward. I shared with my ex. I forgave him and I love him, but I do not want to be in a relationship with him. We were together 15 years. Yes, yes, and Kristen, that's absolutely an option. Just forgiveness doesn't mean you have to restore the relationship, or you have to restore the relationship in the same manner. Hey, we might just be have to now be friends, or not be friends. But I forgive you. I forgive you for the hurt. I forgive you for whatever it is, or I seek your forgiveness if I did something to you. But if you choose to stay in the relationship, if you choose to move forward in your relationship, you can't hold on to past hurts, and you can't throw those things back into their face. You can't use those things as weapons to argue in an argument. And I know as women we can do that. Oh, we got that on lock. That we don't forget nothing. I don't forget when you said this, or when you did that, or when I saw this on your phone, or when I heard this and what. But if you're going to forgive, you forgive, and you have to move on, and in the right attitude. And it's in the right attitude. Because sometimes we say we forgive, but then our attitudes are so different. Our countenance is so different. How we respond to our mate is so different than before the hurt, before the indiscretion, before. But if there's going to be full restoration and move forward, then we can't make that mistake of bringing up those past hurts and punishing the person for their past mistakes. Can't stay in a relationship and move forward in a positive relationship and a healthy, loving relationship, but punish the person for past hurts. If you still hurting, you gotta pray, ask God to help you to fully forgive and to make your heart whole again. Make your heart whole again. God can definitely do that if we're willing, and that's what we want. Number 6, do we forgive and never discuss it again? Is that healthy or unhealthy for a relationship? Good question. Hi, Verona. I didn't know you were out there. No, I don't think that you never discuss it again, but I think that you don't continue to. Now that's everybody each their own, but I don't think that you continue to discuss it. Hey, let's get a good discussion about this. Let's see where things went wrong. Let's see where we could have done differently, where we could have done better. Let's see what did I do to cause you to do that, or what did you do to cause me to do that. Or let's talk about it. Let's communicate, because a lot of times if you sweep it under the rug, then now you got a whole another issue. You sweep whatever happened, or whatever discretion was, or whatever the problem was, whatever caused the pain. When you sweep that under the rug, now you got a whole another issue, because you really building on a false foundation, or you building on a foundation that has not been fixed. But to continue to talk about it, I can tell you one thing: ain't no man want to continue to talk about it. And I'm not just saying it's all about them and what they want, because I know with us as women, we want to continue to talk about it. We want to continue to talk about it. We want to continue to ask why. We want to continue to ask what happened. We want to continue. We want to know, get down to the nitty gritty. We want to know, and that's okay. Like I said initially, but number one, you might not get all the answers that you want for that closure. You might not get all the answers. You might not get all the answers, and you might not ever feel. Sometimes what we're seeking from our partner to fill that hole in our heart that they might have caused, we can only get that from God. We can only get that. We can only get that healing and that wholeness from God. But we're seeking answers from that man, because to make us feel whole again. And like I said, and Verna, to your question and to your point, yes, I believe that it is very important to talk about it. Either talk about it with each other, or if you think you need a counselor in there, or a trusted friend, or a coach, or whatever. I think it's very good. Whatever the situation is, doesn't have to be like cheating or what it could be, whatever it is. But to continue to talk about it, I just personally don't feel like that's healthy for your relationship, to continue to talk about whatever that hurt was, or that mistake was, or that's just me. And then anybody else who have an opinion about that, hey, we're open to all opinions in here. Well, hold on, I'm reading y'all. Um, Cause people in my family tell me he's a good man and that I didn't really forgive him. I told I do, but I will not put me through his stuff anymore. God got me someone special for me. Amen, Krista. Yes. Amen. Yes, he does. And if AJ says yes, he does. And if you and your ex know each other well, you know what you can tolerate and what you can't. And that's a whole other can of worms. God is preparing the right man for you. Love it. Hey, oops. Hold it. Okay. I thought I had lost y'all. Oh, excellent. Yes, I love that, AJ. I love when y'all talk to each other. I just love my community. I love y'all. I just love my community. But yes, but that's true. It's like, don't let anybody talk. Just because somebody's a good person. My daughter's father is a good person. My daughter's father, we were together 5 years. We broke up when she was about 3 years old. And he's a good man. He's a good person. He's come from a good family. I still have love in my heart for him. No in love. We don't, nothing like that. But I only wish the best for him. But he's not for me. He's not for just because somebody's a good person, it doesn't mean that they're for you. Just because you forgive a person doesn't mean that you have to restore the relationship, or not the same type of intimate relationship. So number 6 in 10 biggest relationship mistakes: not creating peace. And we talked about that. That's a whole video that I did. Thank you, Krista. Krista, I agree, First Lady. Not the last. That was the last live we did. We were talking about peace and creating peace in your relationship. That's a big mistake. Not creating peace in your relationship, being argumentative, causing tension in your relationship, calling him or her out on everything. I'm gonna finish making this homemade ravioli. I'm gonna catch you. See you later. See you later, Aaron. Thank you. Oh, that sounds good. Some homemade ravioli. I had McDonald's chicken nuggets tonight. Ugh, I want me a good meal. Anyways, thanks, Aaron, for stopping by. I love you. So yes, not creating peace. That's a big relationship mistake. Not creating peace, just being, sometimes we just like say, sometimes we cause tension in our relationship. Sometimes we just fussy in our relationship. Sometimes we're, accusatory, or we need constant um affirmation. It's like we need constant, soothing. We need constant uplifting. No, yes, we all want those things in our relationship, but when you're not creating an avenue of peace, that's a big, big relationship mistake. And if you have not seen the video about peace, then check that out. It's in my history. I think it was our last live that we talked about creating peace. So we're not even going to continue to spend time on that. Number 7, biggest relationship mistake is to let yourself go. Now that's loaded, let yourself go. Because to me, a lot of times when people hear let yourself go, only thing people think is wait. No, peace is number 1 on your list. Yes, thank you, Danny. Yes. Yes, Danica, creating peace. Number 1 on, and it's not just us ladies creating peace. Sometimes we want peace too. Sometimes it's the man who needs to know how to create peace, know how to bring peace into the relationship. Because sometimes you can have a very peaceful woman and the man is not so peaceful. So it just goes both ways. But I think though that, as women, we are the primary ones who create that peace in our relationship. But back to letting ourselves go, being one of the biggest mistakes that we make in a relationship. And like I said, a lot of people originally think wait. And to me, it's not about weight, because you can still keep yourself up regardless of your weight, or regardless of how much weight you've gained, how much you've lost, etc. But it's taking care of yourself, self care, loving. That's the thing, self care, loving on yourself. I love there's this TikTok trend. I don't know if you all have seen it, but this is this video, and it's a sound bite. People are using the audio, and it says something to the effect of, people always asking, where I'm going. Don't worry about no. Why you dressed all up? Where are you going? Don't worry about where I'm going. Why you looking like that? Why you looking like that? I'm going to my mailbox. And I just love that. I love that little trend on TikTok, because it's so true. Just just look good for yourself. Now, you don't have to be fashionista. You know what I'm saying? We don't all have to like the same thing. I don't wear makeup. It's like you might like makeup. It's like I I don't like hair. You might like your hair. I really admire women who, honey, they blonde today. Next week they got red hair. Next month they got long hair. Uh, yes, we have permission to take care of. I said yes. So I love women who love variety. I love the Nicola said, "Where you been? I miss you, girl." But yes, it's but self care, and that's one of the biggest mistakes we make, especially a lot of times when we have kids. When we have kids, we in all aspects of relationship and beyond. Then he said, "Me too." All aspects of relationship and beyond. Um, it's don't let yourself go, ladies, gentlemen. Don't let yourself go. Don't just become a couch potato. You don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to get dressed. You don't want to smell good. It taking self care. And like I said, self care can mean many different things because we all like different things. So self care don't always mean that you gotta go get your nails done. You might want to do your own nails, but don't just let your polish just look any old kind of way. Either no polish, but whether you do them at home or your daughter or your granddaughter do them, or you do them or you go to get your pedis or your manicures, but taking care of yourself, taking care of your hair. I don't care if it's no hair, some hair, blonde hair, It's fun. We have an older lady at our church, and I'm sure that Nika probably know what I'm talking about, and Denise know what I'm talking about. But honey, you don't know what her hair gonna look like when she come to church on Sundays. Oh, you don't know what she's gonna wear when she come to. Honey, she might be blonde this Sunday, black the next Sunday, go blonde, black, red, long, short. And I just love it. And she's, I don't know, close to 80. But so we all like different things. Um, yes, I love my hair and my nails myself. Yeah, I'm gonna start learning to do because this is the first time I ever had nails, y'all. Y'all look at my past videos. My nails always been stubs, but I don't know. I went into the hospital in December, at the end of December, and came out with some nails. They grew that fast. I was in the hospital for 6 days, and they grew that fast. And when I came out, I said I had nails. I said, "Oh, okay, I got some little nails. I'm not gonna bite them." So, but yes, take good care. Showers, deodorant, smell good stuff. Lotions, stuff on your lips. Your hair, whether it's short, long, whatever. Oh, thank you, Krista. So I'm just saying, take good care of yourself. Self care. Do some things that you like. Do some things that you enjoy. But take good care of yourself, and don't just let yourself go. And you will be surprised how many women do that, and sometimes, especially after a baby. But even if you don't have a baby, sometimes we just get comfortable in our relationship, and we think that it doesn't matter. I believe that as a minimalist, I don't dress up. Let me see. Okay. And love low maintenance hair. But I believe in smelling good and keeping my nails and feet done. Yes. Mental health, self care too. Yes, Danica. Yes. And that's what I'm saying as far as when I say self care, because it's a personal thing. Like I say, some people may think self care is getting their manis and their petties and having their face made up and their hair done and all that, and that's okay too. And some people who are more minimalist might say, I do my own nails. Like Krista says, she likes to do her own nails and her own toes. Or it might be like me, I don't wear an ounce of makeup and I don't like hair, but it's self care, whatever that means to you. But take good care of yourself, and not just it has to be a special occasion for you to take good care of yourself. And I think sometimes that's a big relationship mistake that we make. We get into a relationship and we just kind of stop taking care of ourselves. Number 8, expecting perfection, or conversely, having very low expectations. So either we're expecting perfection or we have very low expectations. That's a very big relationship mistake. It's like, I know AJ in here. I know AJ's be getting married soon. AJ, girl, let me let you in on a little secret. And I know you already know, so it's not a secret. But he ain't gonna be perfect. Mm-mm. He ain't gonna be perfect. Nope. My husband, oh my God, I love him. But y'all, he ain't by no means perfect. Nowhere near it. Not even close. And me neither. Me neither. Nowhere close. Nowhere close. So a lot of times we can say we're not expecting. Touching a nerve. I'm touching a nerve on AJ. AJ, no, he's not gonna be perfect. And y'all know I have been seeing lately your least favorite part. Yes, Danica, they're gonna be so imperfect. They are so imperfect. We are so imperfect. We are so imperfect. As women, we're so imperfect. As men, they're so imperfect. And as people, we are so imperfect. But a lot of times we're expecting perfection. You're bad, perfect, and AJ, and I'm so glad you said that. You said I'm a bad perfectionist, and I'm so glad you said that because it is doubly hard for people who are perfectionists. I am a perfectionist. Now it's funny. I don't know if there are other perfectionists who are like this. I'm only a perfectionist in those things. Like I don't do most things I don't do that I don't feel like I could be perfect in. So a whole lot of things I don't do. I don't cook because I ain't no cook. And I'm not a good cook and I'm not perfect at it. So it's just easy for me to say I don't cook. And it's easy for me not to try because I'm not perfect. And so and AJ Danica said, what do you mean by that? Good question. I'm assuming what I think she meant by that. But but yeah, it's like I'm a perfectionist. So when you are a perfectionist, it's you have to be really cognizant of not trying to always make somebody perfect. And that's something that I have struggled with my whole marriage. And I'm still learning. I'm still learning. I've learned a lot, but I'm still learning and I'm still saying, Deidre, shut your mouth. Y'all spend half the time telling myself, Deidre, shut your mouth. I remember one time I told my husband something like he should have turned left. And he said, why? Because the sign said I should have turned left. Oh, it was so funny. Well, it wasn't funny when he said it, but I thought about it later. Because I said, you should have turned left right there. He said, why? Because that sign said I should have turned left. I no longer like getting dolled up. I like simple, clean, and comfort now. And that's okay. That's okay. Don't self-care don't mean it. Doesn't mean getting all dolled up. It means just loving who you are and caring about who you are and doing things the way you want to do it. But yeah, I have. Let me see. We say we don't require perfection, but won't stop molding that man until he is headed in that direction. You're right, Danica, and that's what I was saying about. That's what I was saying about perfectionists. It's like I think people who are perfectionists have a hard time with this one. When I say expectation of being of perfection, let me see. Danica, mental health self care is so important but overlooked and put on the back burner. People don't think about that much. Hey, come on in. No problem. We're glad you're here, lady, lady NJ. So, anyways, yeah. So, y'all, yeah, perfection. I like I said, I struggle with that because like I say, I spend a lot of time talking to myself, telling myself, Deidre, leave it alone. Deidre, why you said that? Deidre, you didn't need to say that. Deidre, who cares? Deidre, because in my mind, I'm always trying to make a situation perfect. I'm always trying to make sure make my husband say it perfectly, and sometimes if he don't say it perfectly, I get annoyed and I don't know what he's talking about. And I know what he's talking about. It's just that you ain't say it right. So we gotta stop trying to make. We're not perfect, and we gotta stop trying to make our mate perfect. That's a big relationship mistake. And I know it's irritating. I know it's irritating. I know my husband will get irritated with me trying to always make something perfect. But I'm learning, y'all. I'm learning. I'm getting better, and I'm cognizant of it. So I'm continuing, always continuing to try to learn and get better. Learn, change, and grow. That's relationship and life is about. Learn, change, and grow. We're not going to ever be perfect, but we can continue to learn, change, and grow. Learn introspection. Learn, change, and grow. Um, but yeah, but also too, conversely to that, we gotta have some level of expectation of a relationship and a marriage. You gotta have some level. You can't have expectation of perfection. But go ahead on that Nico question. But you gotta have some level of expectation of in a relationship. But sometimes we gotta raise that level of expectation too. And go ahead. I'm waiting on Danica. Number 9. Do you think we are trying to make them perfect or better? Now, very good question. I love that. Very good question, and that's always my intention. To make them better. To make them better. But also, and this is just me. Who says what is better? Who set that standard? What is better? And that's and where is the line? Because we know perfect is not possible. Yes, but excellent point. And I'm just gonna say, speak for myself. I love that question that you made, because yes, my intention is always to make my husband better. But then I say to myself, who who says what is better? Who made the rule of what is better? Because I decided left was better, because I decided that was better, because I decided, now maybe some things are obvious what was a better choice. But for me and my relationship, a lot of times I think my way is better. And simply because I think this is the way it should be done. This is the way I learned that it should be done. This is the way in my mind it should be done. And I have to learn. I am learning, have learned that it's not always my way. My way is not always better. Yes, making sure you both are not unequally yoked in the beginning. Excellent. Yeah, excellent. Because to me, some things are obviously better. And if you're equally yoked, then you both know that. So, Danica, what do you think? What's your thoughts? Do you think, Danica, do you think that in your relationship, are you trying to make Frank better or perfect? Mm-hmm. Well, true. Who sets the standard of what is better? But also, we tell women to set the bar. So, setting a standard versus setting the bar, it's like we call it something different once we get married. Excellent, excellent point. Excellent point. It's like we call it something different once we get married. I can agree with that. I definitely see your point. I think, however, even the after marriage, we still have to set that bar. I remember you and Pastor did that first video, First Lady, about the bed sheets, which was you have such a good memory, Crystal. You don't forget nothing. Yes, but that's one of the things. That's one of the things. Crystal said she could remember when me and Pastor did a video and we were talking about the bed sheets and how I learned how to do bed sheets. And he said his mama taught him a different way to do the bed sheets. And just because my mama taught me how to do bed sheets one way, don't mean that my way right. Well, I felt like my way was right, and he felt like his way was right. And then we know what we did. We came to a compromise. On his side of the bed, he do it the way he want to, and on my side of the bed, I do it the way I want to. Yeah, so that's even like I said, Crystal probably remember I talked about the toilet paper holder. It's like I'm used to the toilet paper going one way, he wants it to go another way, so I just started putting the toilet paper this one way for him and one way for me. So yeah, then like you said, yep, Catherine Hiller's way on the highway. Yep, my mama. Yep. And so, of course, I grew up like that. It's mama's way on the highway. So then I had to learn in my marriage that it wasn't Deidre's way on the highway, or my husband would have been gone. Because I thought everything that I learned and I knew was the right way and the only way. And I had to learn, that it, my way is not the only way or the right way. And like I said, I still struggle with that, and I still I'm learning to do better with that and stop trying to tell my husband. Always tell him my way of doing things, and my way is the right way. But then, Nika, to your point though, when you were saying that like we change the standard when we get married, um, or we maybe not the standard, but we change like the saying. Um, but I think that when we get married, we still sometimes they'll try to change them. Right. He said right, which made me have a thought. Okay. I think though that sometimes though yes, we have an expectation. We should have a bar. When married, we are becoming one. We should have a bar. Yes, when we're married, I mean when we're single, we say we should have a bar and we should have a standard. Yes, and even in marriage, yes, we have a bar and we have a standard. But then we have to remember though that like they said, now we're one. Now we're one, and that doesn't mean you no longer have a bar, you have a standard, but you have to understand that it's not it's not just one way. You know, it might just be one way when you're dating, but when you're married, you're now one. And it's not just one way. I'm going to scroll because I missed what you said. When you when you get married, you have to learn a lot. Then the other side of the coin is that you have to unlearn a lot also. Excellent point. I'm so glad to hear that, Nico. Yes, but excellent point. You have to learn. I have had to unlearn a lot. I really have. I've had to unlearn a lot. I've learned a lot. I am still learning a lot. And I've had to unlearn a lot. And a lot of stuff I still ain't unlearned yet. 17 years in. And hi Cynthia, welcome, hi. Yes, unlearning is hard. Learning is a little easier. Unlearning is hard. Because like I say, 17 years in, I'm still unlearning. And I'm still talking to myself and saying, Deidre, why did you say that? Deidre, you didn't have to say that. Deidre, leave him alone. Deidre, do this. Deidre. So it's um, like even now I'm a like I said, I'm an introvert. I have to remind myself to constantly remind myself to engage and to pull myself out of my introvertism. I'm still learning things that you think will be natural by now. You think did you've been married 17 years to a good man, but I'm still reminding myself of things. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to unlearn. This mouth right here, this mouth, I'm still trying to learn. See, this is why now I am living alone. Everything is fine. Crystal says that's why she's living alone. Everything is her way. Yes, that's the way it is when you're single, honey. Everything is your way. But you did say you were waiting on Lord, on God to send you that man, and so you're gonna have to be open to everything's not gonna be your way when that man arrives. He will have his own way, and especially depending on how strongly he was brought up, or if he was brought up by a father in the home, or or depending on whatever his history was. Yep, it just ain't nothing wrong with that at all, not at all. But sometimes when we have had our like I was single, well I was single forever before I got married, but I was an adult single for a long time until I was 38, and I had to learn and unlearn a lot of things that I'm still learning and unlearning. Um, oh, excuse me, y'all. I think let me see, expecting perfection. Oh, number nine. Let me get through these. Number nine, trying to change your mate. You can inspire a person to change, but you can't make them change. Hold. Let me see. I'm gonna go back to that. Let me see what Vernon said. I've been trying to not put my finger all up in everyone's. Let me see. Me too. Me too. The introvertism is real. I am trying to move beyond that because introverts ways can come off as unfeeling, especially me. Yep. Yeah, Danica, I'm going to address that. Everyone's better or perfection can be different. I think they specifics to perception, perspective of what is better or perfection. Be different. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Vernon said um, everyone's have a different thought of what is perspective or what is better or what is perfection. I do agree with that. I think I truly believe that most women are just looking to make their spouse better. But I think in that attempt to make them better, sometimes we make them feel. Even if we don't, we make men feel like we are expecting perfection. So even if we're not, I have seen this. I don't know if you all have seen this trend, but in social media, I've seen quite a few men saying like, can we do anything right? Do we do anything right? Or women, if your man does anything right, tell him. Okay, he might do five things wrong, but if he does one or two things right, tell him. It's it's not our job to make them better. Just they have to want it. True enough, they have to want to do better and to be better. But I believe it is our, I won't say our job, but I believe that it's to our benefit to inspire them to be better. It's to our benefit and the benefit of the relationship and our benefit, because the better they are, the more satisfying the relationship is. So no, they have to want to be better. If a man does not want to be better, ain't nothing we can do. There is absolutely nothing we can do with a man who does not want to be better. Only God can do that. But we can inspire a man to want to be better. And in that, like I said, um we get what we want. In that we get the love that we want and the love that we desire. And but trying to change our mate. Let's see. Yes, we want to make them better. I know, and it's not our job. We freelance it though. Pro bono, yes we do. We freelance it pro bono, yes we do. Yes we do. Just imagine we got paid for making them better. Yeah, pray for them hard. Yep, yep. Pray without ceasing. I'm constantly praying for my husband and our marriage. And me. Praying, Lord, make me better too. But anyway, I'm not trying to change our mate. That's a big relationship mistake. Trying to change them. Like, we can inspire them to change. Sometimes we want them to change, but like Denny could say, it ain't our job to change them, and they gotta they gotta want to make changes. But we cannot make a person change. A lot of times we get sometimes we get these broken men, or these men who don't mean us any good, and they're and we're thinking that we can make them change. We can't make anybody change. They got to want to. We can inspire, but we can inspire change, but they have to want to change. We can't make them. And if there is a change, if there is something that you want to change in your mate, I'm telling you, take it to God in prayer. It might sound cliche, it might sound crazy, but take it to God. There have been times that I wanted to change in my husband, or something that I didn't like, or something and I would, not saying that you can't talk about it now. Hey, yes, you can talk about it, but there are some things that you take to God in prayer. And I've seen God do it. I've seen my husband say, "Baby, you know what? I was thinking, or the Lord was dealing with me about this," and I just be like, "Lord, you something else. I took it to you, and you took it to him. He will do it. Won't he do it? Yes, he will." Number 10, try. Um, Number 10, trying to change who you are to be what your mate wants you to be. Talking about change. That's a big relationship mistake. Trying to change yourself to be who they want or need. Yes, we want to always learn, change, and grow. I just think that, like I said, I've said before, if you're not learning, changing, and growing, then you're dying. But so yes, we want to learn, change, and grow, but don't go changing for someone else. And what I mean by that is, you want to wear your hair in dreads, and he don't want you to wear your hair in dreads, and this is what I want. Or he want a big booty, and you don't have a big booty, so you go fly over to Mexico and get you a big booty. If you want a big booty, go get you one, but don't try to do it for him, or to get him, or keep him. It's like you get. I'm saying we have to change a little, just a little. We have to change a little. Yes, we all should want to, like I say, change. We all should want to learn, change, and grow. But I'm telling you, don't go try and change yourself and change your character and change your body and change all of these things for a relationship, because it's not gonna keep them. It's not gonna keep them. Like I say, do what self care, what makes you happy, what you want to change for that person because you want it and because it's an improvement, because it makes things better, but not changing for just for that person. And a lot of people do it. A lot of women do it, changing who they are or changing their beliefs. Like I heard of this person who was a Christian. Man came along, he was a Muslim, and she started dabbing in Muslim. Like, I'm not judging whatever religion people are, but you don't. But she changed because of the relationship. Now, when the relationship stopped, she came back and she became a Christian again. I'm talking about those types of changes. Hey, maybe she's just dipping and dabbling, but it's those type of changes that I'm talking about. Is be who you are, and be who you want to be, and change and grow for your personal growth, but not for a person. And my last one, on biggest, this was just a bonus that I thought of. Biggest relationship mistake is you ain't fun no more. You ain't fun no more. That's a big mistake. That's a big mistake in a relationship. Is you first get together and everything's you're enjoying each other. You like to go out. Everything's you enjoy each other. You enjoy the company. You love to talk. You can't wait to see each other. And we do know that life comes at us and life comes at us hard. But then we get into our relationship and everything's a drag, and there's no fun. Keep the fun, keep the joy, into your relationship. Nope, every day ain't gonna be Sunday. Every day not gonna be a concert. Every day not gonna be happy. But keep the joy in your relationship. Change should be progressive. A butterfly never became a caterpillar. A butterfly never became a caterpillar. Yes, progressive, progressive. Don't lose yourself. I keep reading to myself. I forget to read out loud. Don't lose yourself in a relationship. Still be you and ask the Lord to show you what you need to do to be better. Yes, I love that, Andrea. Don't lose yourself in a relationship. Yes, change, like I said, change to be better, change for growth, change to be an inspiration, to be motivation. Change for self care, change for those reasons, but don't change just to try and hold on to a relationship. That's wrong reasons to try and change. So that is all I have. But I would love if anybody who you got some more comments, some more questions, some more on this topic. This is the time. I know you all have already been sharing, but before I end the live, and Danica still hanging in there too, and we an hour and something. Uh, Danica, thank you for coming. Everybody I'm pretty much know, I'm sure, but Danica, just me. Danica is my sister, my baby sister. Or should I say my youngest sister? Let's see, a friend of mine is married to an atheist. She kept trying to change him, and her pastor sat her down and reminded her to have fun with her husband and to love him as he is, as God does. Yes, 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 because she might not ever win him over, but you're definitely not going to win him over by being fussy and being a drag and being and nagging. You're not going to ever win him over that way. But hey, even if you never do win him over to Christ, if you're going to be in a relationship, you got to just go ahead and enjoy the relationship and not focus on that point. Just be the light. Be positive. Danica, Krista, and I'm sure some of the other ladies, they say they need some videos. Y'all, I be trying to get her to do this, but she's just not a YouTuber. No matter how much I keep trying to make her one. Danica, you go give us some videos? I'm one of her. See, I try to be extra fun and fun loving on Saturdays. Make my hubby happy to come to church. Yes. Danica, you be extra loving on Saturdays. That is so funny. But that's good. That's perfect. It's like that's how you do it. That's how you do it. You know your mate. You know what they like. You know what their love language is, and like I said, you're that light to pull him over there. And changing for that person breeds huge insecurities for both of you. Yes, yes. Oh, Danica, that's funny, but it's true. But that's a good way to do it. It's, yeah, you say you miss Danica's cooking videos, and I miss her cooking. Yeah. Anyways, you guys, I think that's about it. I really, really appreciate you guys being here. I love, love, love the comments and the lively conversation. Yes, because you can't be yourself if you can't be completely me, and it's not going to work. Y'all see that Nico, we're asking for videos. You see that Nico ain't said, "Oh, I'm gonna do some videos." I know that Nico say, "Don't." I'm not gonna lie to the people. So, what's that? Okay, she said she will do more videos. Okay, okay. So what I have to do is what they say if Muhammad, what is it? If Muhammad won't come to the mountain, take the mountain to the mountain. Whatever that saying is, I'm gonna have to take the camera to that Nico and put her on camera over here in the blessed place. Oh, excuse me. Okay, you guys. She just can't say when. Mm-hmm. All right, you guys. Okay, love y'all. Appreciate you all being here. I enjoyed you all. Again, thank you so much, Danica. Thank you so much, Danica, for being here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Um, Thanks so much for this live chat. Thank you, Danica. Thanks, everybody. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. And again, I welcome you to come on over to IG, So Bless One, and so that we can dialogue there. All right. Love y'all. Y'all be blessed. Thanks, Krista. Thank you. Thank you for being the tree. All right. I'm gone. I can stay on here another hour, but I won't. Bye, y'all.